Wow. So what is something that you don't really like about our culture and something that you really love about that?
One of the things that I guess, that I like less about our culture is probably how people don't set the highest standards for themselves. Right?
Not really confident
Good
sometimes.
Enough. Good enough. We have some of us, we have a good enough mentality. Don't stress out too much. Just do this much because that's good enough.
Okay.
And I think, a good enough mentality is only going to propel our society to a good enough level.
Yeah.
And, we have many years to catch up with the modern world, but I do see that we're catching up very quickly, so that's a good thing. Now, one of the things that I love about Vietnam is the fact that people are so creative and flexible.
That's right. And I feel like our people are really hardworking as well.
Yes.
And once we have the goal, we are so determined to achieve that goal.
Yes, for sure.
So when we move to another country, it is undeniable that we need to appreciate and respect those cultures and different cultures within that country. But a lot of people, a school of thoughts believe that it is sometimes necessary to lower down the ego a little bit and trivialize the traditional cultures of our own. So what do you think about that?
That's a good question, actually. That's a really good question. I believe ego should not exist anywhere in our life.
Yeah.
It's the most idealistic situation, but I think ego destroys a lot of things. Yes. It destroys our thought process. It destroys sometimes our connection with people. So I don't think ego should come in place. Whether it's about ego or culture, I really think, it's appreciating what's around you. Learn to appreciate the environment that you live with. Where we come from, what's our background. I think that's just one element of it. I don't want to have to force everybody to appreciate where they came from, but the story of where they came from is always a beautiful story, regardless of who you are.
How could everyone realize that? But because some people will say that, I don't think that for instance, I am living in a foreign country and I don't think that the culture or my homeland is beautiful or that as beautiful as the country that I'm living in is more modern and developed. So how could everyone really appreciate the beauty and the roots of the country land?
No, I would say, speak to the people that appreciate that culture.
Yes.
I would say, do research on the culture.
That's right.
Because the good thing is not just about, it's so developed, everything is so clean, everything is so structured and efficient. That might not necessarily be basically the standard of what is good.
Yes.
Right? Vietnam, for example, has a long tradition and history of conquering great wars. There are monuments that tell you the history of our country. We've always had women warriors and women leaders. Those are some really interesting things too. So at the end of the day, perception is always subjective. And in order for somebody to appreciate a certain culture, I would say do research. Speak to people who appreciate it and be open-minded, because appreciation doesn't always have to come with perfection.
Yes. That's perfect.
Yeah.